Well, g'day fishers. Welcome to our weekly fishing report. I'm back in the shop this week after a good week away. Just a few barrows and a few other things on the fly. I've got to set yourself a challenge in life, and I love challenging myself in fishing. So ticking off bucket list fish is what it's all about, that's for sure. So back in the shop, fortunately it's all good. We're leading into Christmas, busy time of the year. We're ramping up big time, actually. Plenty of new stock coming in left, right and center, like every day. New stuff from Shimano, new stuff from Daiwa. It's all happening at the moment. But the fishing news, some really good reports this week, actually. I've had plenty of messages. Sorry for those who haven't replied. I had a very little phone service where I was, unfortunately, but some really nice fish being caught this week. We'll begin in the estuary. Estuary's definitely fired right up now. That warmer water's definitely heating up there with the sunnier days and lack of at the moment, but weekend looks good, 27 degrees most of the weekend. So whiting is starting to really ramp up. Sand whiting, plenty of good sand whiting around. If you're really keen, now's the time to chase them on surface lures, and it is so much fun. So any of the flats there at the back of the bay, the reason for the back of the bay, they're hunting prawns on the surface. You can give them a go further down around Bagnalls Beach, but I reckon the further up you go, the better it is on those flats. Definitely towards Taylor's Beach, over towards Tarlee, all those back area flats, even up towards Tanelba and Tillagary there. All those back flats fish really well with the prawn congregations up that way. So surface lures are the go at the moment. Likewise with the Brimbos, the brim are definitely hitting the surface lures, and that is really good fun on its own as well. So if you're keen on doing that, definitely worth a shot. If you're new to bait fishing, come and grab some of our worms or our yabbies and go and throw those around. Similar sand flats, you can fish further down the bay, some good ones down around Corlett Groins there, and also along Dutchies, Nelson Bay Beach, and then along through there. So if you're keen on doing that, fish that incoming tide and you'll get some nice whiting on the worms and yabbies. But fish are really light leader, 4 pound leader is definitely the go. They do get a little bit leader shy, the old whiting, especially when you're bait fishing for them, so definitely worth a shot there. Some good kings around at the moment inside the bay. Don't have to give you any hints where they are. There's a big breakwater in Nelson Bay. There's actually 2, and that's where they're congregating at the moment. So definitely worth a shot on the kings at the moment. And I'll move into offshore. There's some really nice ones offshore as well. Some good mulloway around. I spoke to Paul from Fishport Stevens Estuary Charters. He's been putting his clients onto some nice mulloway, mainly a bycatch on the soft plastics while he's fishing for flatties as well. So he's doing pretty well there. Also, I've got to mention that he's actually on TV this weekend, Fishing Australia. I think it might be on Sunday. Check those times, catching a couple of long tails with Rob Paxavana. So definitely worth a look. Showcasing Port Stephens, that's for sure. So I believe he did pretty well on that episode, catching a long tail, which in the bay is no mean feat, and it won't be long, a few months, and they'll be in the bay again, that's for sure. A few muddies starting to move around. Has been a very quiet muddy season so far, and it's all due to that rain that we had earlier in the months there, but definitely worth a shot putting the pots in. Blue swimmers are there, but you just got to work for them a little bit harder, that's for sure. So bay all in all fishing pretty well at the moment. I'm actually keen to get out there and nail a few flatties, especially on the surface lures, and a few whiting on the surface lures at the moment. So definitely worth a shot. So moving along to the beaches now. The beaches are fishing particularly well. Some really nice mulloway caught over the last week off the beaches. Shane got a nice one off the beach there, about 11-12 kilos. That was up at Fingal. Also heard a whisper that Jamie nailed a really nice fish. I saw a snippet of footage of a tail. He apparently fished up Samurai, got a really nice fish going 22 kilos off the beach. So an absolute ripper off the beach. So it is definitely that time of year where you do find some really, really good mulloway off the beaches. Fingal, Samurai fishing well. Be worth a shot down Barubie as well. Some good gutters down there forming up at the moment. If you're keen, go and throw some big plastics around. There's plenty of good plastics on the market at the moment. We've got those new Atomics. We've also got the Berkeley Shimmers, which work really well in the Barra, by the way. But definitely worth a shot throwing some big plastics into those gutters on those tide change. If you're keen on doing that, I'm pretty sure that, pretty confident you'll nail some mulloway on big plastics in those gutters, that's for sure. Whiting is starting to happen as well. Even though the water's only about 19 degrees, there are a few whiting on the beaches as well. Keen to spin a medal, there's still plenty of salmon and the odd tailor around as well. So definitely worth a shot on the beaches. The rocks been fishing particularly well. Core sent me some footage of a really nice snapper he caught off the rocks there. You got some cracking footage of that fish. So some good reds around at the moment. We're back off that new moon leading up to the full, so it is a good time to chase snapper off the rocks at the moment. You got old bread and butter species. Drummer is still about because that water hasn't really sort of warmed up yet, and it won't for another month or so. It's definitely still worth a shot at some drummer. And again, go for a spin, tailor and a salmon. Definitely worth a shot at a king if you want to stick bait or live bait off the rocks, especially around that Boulder Bay area at the moment. So Beaches Rocks definitely worth a fish this week, and northerly winds are expected into Sunday there, so Beaches will fish particularly well, I think. On the offshore scene, like I mentioned, some good kings around. Neil Scott got a really nice fish, about 12 kilos out around the island. So some really nice kings around. The water is pretty nice. It's about 20 degrees, but it's very clear at the moment. But there are some really nice kings around. If you're keen on stick baiting, we've got a big range of new stick baits in, especially new keelings from Ocean Legacy doing really well. And in saying that too, some new Ocean Legacy stick bait rods as well. So definitely worth a shot at some big kings. You can either stick bait or live bait for them as well. They're right up in the shallows this time of year. And when I mean shallow, you can talk 2 to 5 metres of water, but just fish those prominent drop-offs. Even when there's a little bit of current pushing onto a headland, it'll fish really well for kings. No flow, no go, that's the call. So kings do like a little bit of movement in the water, and just look for bait shimmering on the surface. You see those yakkers and slimies up on top. There's a good chance there'll be a king around there. Some good snapper about as well. Even though the water is clear, there are some good snapper about. I suggest fishing that deeper water, probably fishing that 40 to 50 metres, and you'll do pretty well. I spoke to Brad off Pacific Blue Charters. He got some really nice snapper. Even got one about 8 kilos in that deeper 50 metre water, and he says the trag is starting to come in pretty thick as well. So if you're keen on that, a few trag around, big gibber, 21. Be also worth a run right down to Uralla there this time of year as well. So fishing's pretty good offshore at the moment. Still plenty of time to get out to Allmark. Current hasn't really pushed down yet, so there's been some kings out there. There's been John Dory's, been a mixed bag out in that bottom sort of stuff out there. There's been a few sharks out there as well, a few whalers, annoying a few people jigging for kings as well. The boys on Real Issues caught a striped marlin last week, and so that's sort of starting to happen. I haven't had a good look at the charts at the moment, rip charts. It's been too much cloud, but it's all going to start to shape up very soon. We usually see a little bit of a bite on the edge of the shelf towards the end of December, so start gearing up now. Like I said, we're ramping up. We've got plenty of stuff in stock at the moment, so definitely keen on getting an early season there. They also caught a few yellowfin as well. I think that was up over the edge of the shelf there. I think the biggest was close to 40 kilos, so some good yellowfin around on the edge there, but they'll come and go. Gone one day, gone the next, so see how we go there. So that's all in a nutshell. Like I said, get ready for a marlin season. I spoke to my good mate Chozza up at Harvey Bay last week. I should have called in there, but they've had an extraordinary inshore black marlin season up there, seeing 30 to 40 fish a day, and that's inside the island. So hopefully they paddle down sea, they bypass the Gold Coast, which would be really good, and Port Stephens season inshore black marlin bite. But that's it, all in all, good weekend. Get out there and have a fish.